So, you want to pass the Google Cloud Associate Cloud Engineer exam? Well, here's a full, robust, complete guide on exactly how to do it. For the record, this video will be beginner or at least near beginner friendly. I think definitely it's extremely hard coming into this exam if you don't know the concepts like me, especially Kubernetes or how Google Cloud exactly starts and stops VMs behind the scenes. So not to mention even all the products you have to learn. So aimed towards beginners. But even if you're not a beginner and you know some of these concepts, well then the exam will probably be more of a breeze and it'll be just a matter of applying and knowing which products to apply. Regardless, I will split this video up into two parts. It'll be A, my experience taking this exam, especially as a beginner, and B, just straight up recommended concrete path you should take. So A, my experience. I started off learning about Google Cloud in about October of 2022, and I started out with the official study guide. Now, this is not to say that the study guide is bad. I don't think it's bad. I just think it, at least in my experience, it wasn't aimed towards beginners. I felt like I would read a chapter and I wasn't understanding everything that was happening because it wasn't aimed at me. And I definitely spent too much time trying to understand the book whose conceptual level I was not on. So, needless to say, the only reason I probably practiced this exam was less so because of the study guide, but other materials. I would say my saving grace was the A-Cloud Guru course. I will put a link in the description. Yeah, this course is amazing. Particularly just teaching the concepts you need to know. This course does cost a bit to take, but I definitely think it was worth it, especially to learn all the new concepts. It has videos that you can go through, practice labs, which I think are essential for the exam, and practice questions. Further, in the middle of this course, it actually links to a second course that robustly teaches you Kubernetes, which is once again helpful as a beginner at this, or even if you're not as a beginner. I think there are things that happen behind the scenes, especially since it is an API, that would even be just helpful as a review. And like, what's the harm? You're watching videos, just like watch it while you like eat or something. Yeah, they're videos, like. And I think even if you're not a beginner, just taking the course and looking at those videos would help. And I found that course in the middle of it, detailing how Kubernetes works within Google Cloud, essential for the exam. After I took that course, then I felt comfortable going back to the study guide. In fact, rereading the chapter, part of it was like, yes, I've read it before, but most of it was, I understand what you're talking about. Like, I can be on your level and have this like conversation with you. So then I started to re-go through the practice guide and just basically flying colors. I think the questions in the study guide are harder than the questions actually on the exam, but in that sense, I think it does very well to serve you for preparation. Simultaneously, while making my way back through the study guide, I started taking exam topics and Wiz Labs. I didn't fully explore Wiz Labs, but I think they also have practice videos and labs, but I mainly took advantage of their practice tests. So exam topics has a whole bunch of free questions, which is really useful because they're very representative of the questions on the actual exam, but the answers aren't so good in the sense that you need to understand more of what's happening because the answers they give you aren't necessarily always correct. In fact, it's more useful to be exposed to those questions, think about it on your own, and then go to the discussion and find out what the answer is for yourself or what you best think the answer is. For this reason, I would recommend taking all the practice exams by Wiz Labs first, mainly because A, Wiz Labs actually has detailed, accurate answers for all of their practice questions, and you can see maybe why you chose one particular question. They have a detailed explanation of why D is wrong, but like B is better suited for the question. Also, you get exposed to products and you get a summary of those products that you can better use for your studies and then apply it to exam topics. So I think it would be ideal to take these questions first and then return to exam topics. So now you have an increased, more knowledgeable discussion that you can use to better detail your answers. Regardless, I have found both of these resources super invaluable because these questions are super representative of what has come up on the exam. Finally, I just got studying. There's a lot of products that you need to know, and I best found it to study all of these products actually with acronyms, where the acronyms are acronyms of things that are in the actual name. I think Bigtable, I used LionsCamp. Low latency integrates with Hadoop, Dataflow, Dataproc, open source HBase API, NoSQL, seamless scaling, Columnar, Camp A. Either that auto scaling. Manually scales. Okay, sorry, it's been a while. But like I would use acronyms like that would help. The acronyms didn't come out of nowhere. They like A came out of obviously the product, but also the A-Cloud Guru course towards the end gives you a very detailed, robust, like here's point blank things you need to know before the exam about this product, which is good because you could squeeze all that into an acronym. That'll probably be the most intense period of studying because it's just like you really need to know these things about those products. And I think you'll find it easier that after you know the acronyms, you know what the product is that you're talking about, then you can answer questions about it. And like as you answer more questions and you're answering like this product would be best suited for A, this product would best be suited for B, it gets easier as you go on. And that is like a large chunk of the exam, 20 to 40%. So I made acronyms for all the Google Cloud products, and for any questions I missed, I definitely made sure to review them. Let's get on to taking the exam. So I took the exam on May 17th. I chose to take the exam in person as opposed to online, just because I don't have exactly a quiet, isolated place in which I can work from. And I was willing to drive for the peace of mind of a secure testing center. If you want to take it online or if you want to take it in person, both are the same process. You register through Criterion. I'll put a link down below, and you specify in advance. I took the exam at a community college, which you'll see if you do choose to do it in person, all the places that you can take near you when you're looking to schedule the test. The exam is about 2 hours long, and you'll have 50 questions. You'll probably think to yourself as you take these practice tests, like 2 hours, like that's a super long time. Take advantage of it. I personally can blaze through the exam in about 30 minutes, but like that's not the goal of the exam. The goal of the exam is to do as like best as you can. In fact, I blaze through the exam but use the remaining 90 minutes to go back over the more challenging questions. This is especially useful if you forget something, because the context of one question could potentially help you answer another question. Okay, recommended path. I will be very straightforward. A, I would recommend you take the A Cloud Guru course. B, take the exams on WizLabs, but save one for last. For each exam you complete, record all the questions you got wrong, save those. And I would recommend you actively review those questions. Also record if you encounter them any new Google Cloud products or products you keep encountering but can't remember. I've found it especially useful to use acronyms for all of these products, and it's especially useful if those acronyms contain sort of the name of the product itself within them, like BigQuery, use the acronym Query. I'll leave it up to your own devices on what each of those letters actually stand for. C, read through the official study guide and take the practice questions. I found the study guide much harder than the actual exam and thus perfect for preparation for the test. D, go through exam topics. A lot of these questions are representative of the questions that are on the actual exam. However, a lot of these answers are not right, so you'll have to go to the discussion section of the question to best answer that. However, if you've done steps A, B, and C now, you should be well equipped to be able to use your own discretion to answer those questions. E, take that last WizLabs practice exam. You've got this. And step F, go get them. I'd say, especially if you're memorizing the acronyms that you got for all of the products or have an understanding of how those products works, and you're doing well in the majority of the practice test questions, go take the test. So once again, I kind of implicitly said it, but I want to explicitly say it now. I want to preface a warning of actually don't study too much. There comes a point where if you keep studying, most of the material you'll end up studying won't actually show its face on the exam, and you'll end up studying double for it. So know when to call it quits. So all this to say, you've got this. I hope this helps, and I wish you the best of luck.